Senator Miller.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that further proceedings under the roll call be dispensed with and the Sergeant at Arms be instructed to bring in the absent members.
On that motion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The motion prevails. Members, today our chaplain will be Reverend Richard Carlson from St. Paul, Minnesota. Just to remind you that following the prayer, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you for this invitation to open this session of the Senate in prayer. Let us pray. God of many names, it's a new day, and now this Minnesota Senate is convening as elected representatives and staff, all with a calling to be about the important work of governing in our democratic republic. We pray for the will of the God of all traditions to move in their hearts as they attend to the issues that call for their deliberation and discernment. Give them the lens of seeing the humanity of all people, to know the sense of belonging when we are loved, that compassion, kindness, humility, patience, and forgiveness have transformative capacity to heal. We do not do well when we dismiss the humanity of other people due to some perceived difference. May the friendships developed here and the network of relationships established, cultivated by listening and respect for the other, be the foundation of dialogue that leads to legislation that works for the common good of this state and nation. Thanks be to God. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, good. Thanks, all the best, yeah. And the speaker is who? This woman?
Senator Kiffmeyer.
And her first name is?
Mary.
Mary, yeah. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you. The Secretary will take the roll.
Abler, Anderson, Bach, Benson, Bigham, Carlson, Chamberlain, Champion, Clausen, Coleman, Swadzinski, Dahms, Stibble, Dornick, Draheim, Duckworth, Dietzick, Eaton, Eichhorn, Eakin, Fate, Frentz, Gazelka, Goggin, Herr, Hoffman, Housley, Howe, Ingebretson, Isaacson, Jasinski, Johnson, Johnson-Stewart, Kent, Kiffmeyer, Klein, Coran, Kunish, Lang, Latz, Limmer, Lopez Franzen, Marty, Matthews, McEwen, Miller, Murphy, Nelson, Newman, Newton, Osmic, Pappas, Port, Pratt, Putnam, Rarick, Rest, Rosen, Rude, Senjum, Tomasoni, Torres Ray, Utke, Weber, Westrom, Uyghur, and Wicklund.
A quorum is present. Pursuant to Rule 14.1, the following members intend to vote under Rule 40.7. Anderson, Coleman, Eaton, Fateh, Gazelka, Lang, Marty, Newman, Osmic, Port, Rest, and Tomasoni. So we'll go to our, okay. Pursuant to Rule 12.5, Senator Limmer moved that the following members be excused for conference committee on Senate File 2673 at 10:30 a.m. Senators Limmer, Osmic, Matthews, Latz, and Bigham. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. With that, members are ready to go to the fifth order of business. Senator Miller.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the committee reports printed in the agenda be adopted.
On the adoption of the committee reports, all in favor say aye. Opposed, say no. The motion prevails. On the next item of business, we will go to the sixth order of business. The Secretary will read the Senate file now.
Second reading, Senate file numbers 4163 and 2952.
Senate files have been given their second reading. Next order of business, second reading of House bills. The Secretary will read the House file now.
House File numbers 3834 and 4221.
House files have been given their second reading. We'll next go to the eighth order of business, introduction and first reading of Senate bills. The bills listed on today's introduction calendar are given their first reading and referred as indicated. Senate Resolution number 138 will be referred to the Committee on Rules and Administration. Pardon? Okay, we have an author motion. All right. Senator Senjum moves that the name of Senator Wickland be added as a co-author to Senate File 3395. On that motion, all in favor say aye. Opposed, motion prevails. Senate Resolution number 138 will be referred to the Committee on Rules and Administration. Remaining under the order of business of motions and resolutions, Senator Miller.
Thank you, Madam President. Pursuant to Rule 26, I designate the following bills made special orders for immediate consideration. Members, the list is on your desk.
To Senator Utke on House File 3768, number 88, in general orders.
Thank you, Madam President and members. House File 3768 is our structured settlement bill. This is a topic that was highlighted this past October in the Star Tribune, talking about how fellow Minnesotans had been taken advantage of by some of the bad actors that were working in the structured settlement. And a structured settlement is where you could have an annuity, you could have got it through a tort settlement where you have got timely payments going out into the future, and at this point you're going to make a deal to get a lump sum payment, and you're working with what we call a structured settlement company. With this bill, we have put together guardrails to protect our citizens who might want to engage in a legitimate sale, and there are definitely those sales out there. Like in anything, we've got a lot of good companies currently doing it, but you've always got the bad actor, and we're going to address them with what we have in our bill here today. Structured settlements vary in size and duration. There is not a typical settlement format, as each situation is unique. Structured settlement recipients may develop a need for liquidity from their settlement to seek the and transfer the rights to receive the certain structured settlement payments in exchange for an immediate lump sum. This bill includes the current NCOIL Model Act language, plus language that's been added to that and passed in 3 states currently, Georgia, Louisiana, and Nevada, with others currently working on it, just as we are here today. And in the end, once our bill is signed into law, we will be adding this new language to the current Model Act, and in July, that will become the new Model Act. As times change, those that want to work around the system, fraud the system, get more sophisticated, and we have to react to that also and create something that protects our people. Minnesota was actually the first state in the nation to adopt this current structured settlement protection law, and that was in 1999, which for many years served us. But again, we're needing to update it for current times. In this bill, we started by requiring the structured settlement purchasers to register with our Secretary of State. They're a business, they now need to register with the Secretary of State and also provide a surety bond. And then it greatly expands the disclosure statements provided to the structured settlement recipients. Requires that the structured settlement recipient that they've been advised in writing to seek and receive independent professional advice and the courts consider that the transfer is in the best interest of the payee. Everything that we're working on in this bill is so that it's in the best interest of the payee, the person that's selling the rights to their structured settlement. We're building in all of the different payment guidelines and securities that we can think of. That the periodic payments which were intended to cover future income or losses or future medical expenses, whether the payee has the means to support aside from the structured settlement to meet these obligations. We want to make sure that the person selling, these payments were set up for a specific reason in a lot of cases, and we've got to make sure that by selling this and taking a lump sum, which is going to reduce what would have received over time, that they still have the ability to take care of themselves and their families or dependents, which could include child support and spousal maintenance and a lot more, but to make sure that, again, they're making it for the right reasons. Additional conditions are added if the payee is a minor, and there you'll see, once again, it's to make sure that it's in the best interest of this young person, and we've built in some additional guidelines so that whether it's parents, guardians, conservators, so that they aren't using this money for other purposes. If the minor goes through with a structured settlement, that it has to be in their best interest and used appropriately, and we do define those terms in the bill. And lastly, there's the county of domicile. Previously, this could happen anywhere. You could have a court somewhere in another state that was friendly to the process, and you could make this work. Now, under all conditions, there is still an exception, but the person that's selling, the payee, has to go to court in the county in which they live. We want people around them that know them, know about them, or would have their best interest in mind, so that it isn't just somebody that would be out there to take advantage of them. The court has also been given additional instructions and tools in this bill to make sure that the transfer, again, is in the best interest of the payee, and the payee is fully capable of making these decisions. In some cases, the court is mandated to appoint an attorney for additional advice. Making sure that the settlement is in the best interest of the payee and that the purchaser is a solid company is what this bill is all about. And with that, members, I would stand for questions and ask for your support.
Further discussion or amendments? Seeing none, the Secretary will give House File 3768 its third reading.
House File 3768, a bill for an act relating to civil law, amending process for and approval of transfer of structured settlement.
Third reading, Senator Abler.
Well, thank you, Madam President. And I just want to rise to support the work here. I remember, if you're here long enough, you get to redo stuff. I remember when this first got passed, I was concerned about some of the gaps. And I'm sorry I was right about part of that, but it's really good we can make this better, and I appreciate the collaborative approach across the street, where we can actually make sure people are not taken advantage of in their time of desperation. Some of the awards have been just pathetic, where people have just taken advantage of these folks, and the judges felt powerless. So Senator Utke and whoever else is working on this, thank you for making this right. I urge a green vote. Thank you.
Further discussion? Senator Kent.
Thank you, Madam President. I also want to rise in support of this bill and express appreciation to everyone who has worked on it. I know my colleague, Senator Bigham, has put a lot of effort into this. She is in conference committee now, but I would join her in encouraging support for this important protection for Minnesotans.
Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the Secretary will give House File 3768. Pardon? Oh, okay. All right, Secretary will take the roll on House File 3768. I'll now call on Senator Herr to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Herr.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to report aye for Senator Bingham.
Senator Bingham votes aye.
I'd like to report aye for Senator Eaton.
Senator Eaton votes aye.
Aye for Senator Fateh.
Senator Fateh votes aye.
Aye for Senator Latz.
Senator Latz votes aye.
Aye for Senator Marty.
Senator Marty votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Port.
Senator Port votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Rest.
Senator Rest votes aye.
Thank you, Madam President.
I'll now call on Senator Jasinski to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Coleman votes aye.
Senator Coleman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Gazelka votes aye.
Senator Gazelka votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Senator Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Senator Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Osmic votes aye.
Senator Osmic votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Limmer votes aye.
Senator Limmer votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Matthews votes aye.
Senator Matthews votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Goggin votes aye.
Senator Goggin votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Tomassoni votes aye.
Senator Tomassoni votes aye. All members having voted who desire to vote, the Secretary will close the roll. There being 66 ayes and 0 nays, House File 3668 is passed and adopted. The next bill on our agenda for today is House File 3845 on General Orders Number 85, Senator Housley.
Thank you, Madam President. House File 3845 creates an Ombudsperson office for fosters. Currently, there are 14,000 foster kids in the state of Minnesota. Our statistic when it comes to helping fosters are really bad. Within a year of aging out of the system, at the age of 18, 40% of fosters experience homelessness, with half or 2/3 of those experiencing homelessness in the first 4 years of aging out. When children are placed in foster care and foster homes that aren't safe or good places to live, who intervenes? Who intervenes when it's the government that's causing the abuse? Who watches the watchers? These are our children. They became ours when we separated them from our families. We have a duty to care for them as we do children in our own home. What this bill does is it creates a much-needed ombudsperson office for the state. As it stands, there are no organizations or entities that track complaints or common concerns that arise for fosters. By establishing an ombudsperson office for fosters, we are creating an organizational structure that will create positive change, allow for more capacity to do independent investigations, and track areas where significant intervention is needed. Navigating the foster care system alone is a challenging task in itself. Without the proper tools and advocates, we will continue to fail these children and continue to repeat this all too common cycle we see in our communities. This office would positively affect the Minnesota child welfare system by creating fewer complaints to our county offices. The fosters will experience a more fair process to access resources such as housing, and a separate ombudsperson office will help prevent homelessness and other risk factors. That's the bill in summary, Madam President, and members, I ask for a green vote.
Further discussion, amendments? Senator Torres-Ray.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have a couple of questions for Senator Housley, if she will yield.
You're asking if Senator Housley will yield for a question, is that correct? Okay, Senator Housley will yield.
Thank
Senator
you.
Torres-Ray.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Housley, I read your proposal with great interest. I have worked in these systems and work with child protection for many years before I became a senator. And I happened to work in the Office of Ombudsperson for Families for 7 years. That office actually exists. and was created over 20 years ago. Their current budget is half of what you're asking for one person. They actually have 4 ombudspersons. They have an ombudsperson appointed to work with African American families, an ombudsperson appointed to work with Asian Pacific families, a person appointed to work with African American families, and an indigenous office that was separated last year. So my question, Senator, is why do you think that we need to create a new office of ombudspersons for families?
Senator Housley.
Thank you, Madam President. And Senator Torres-Ray, I missed which ombudsperson office you said you worked for 7 years, so I missed that part of your question. But this is a real need. We've got some foster kids here today up in the gallery, and this came from the foster care advocates. It is a huge, huge concern for the health and safety and the well-being of these young people. Like I said, homelessness when aging out is up to 2/3 of those. It's actually an indicator. When you look at homelessness, 80% of those were in our foster care system. So it is there's no place for them to go right now. When you've got the watchers watching their own entity, who do you go to? So they have nobody to go to right now. They're floundering around, and we're failing these kids. We do need to treat them like we treat the kids in our own home. So there's a real need for this agency. So Senator Torres-Ray, that's where it came from, and that's who we will be helping.
Senator Torres-Ray.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Senator Housley. Members, I just need to let you know that the Office of Ombudsperson for Families that investigates cases of child protection and foster care and placement already exists. So really, what is unfortunate about this proposal, and I don't know how many other members have had an opportunity to really interact with the advocates that came to ask for another layer of government, for more infrastructure, to review a very bureaucratic system that functions pretty much like this. A family that is in need will be somebody will be calling the police, probably arguing that this family is a vulnerable family that needs intervention. That family will go to the county. Then the county will likely have a contract with a nonprofit organization that will have another contract with another nonprofit organization. That funding that the county receives actually comes mostly from the federal government today because we're not funding the counties. And that layer of government that is created by the federal government that goes to the counties, and then the counties that hire nonprofit organizations, and nonprofit organizations that are usually not equipped to work with our families. So we're creating a new layer to really do the work that needs to be done directly with the family to prevent child placement. That's what we need to be doing in the first place. I am opposed to that bill because I have witnessed that chain of bureaucracy that doesn't help our kids. The overwhelming majority of kids that are in placement today happen to be African American, followed by Native American kids and children of color. We're adding layers of bureaucracy that do not resolve their housing problems, that do not resolve their school problems, that do not resolve their mental health issues. But we're creating another layer of government. I don't know who are the advocates who really want to do this, but I encourage them to look at the realities that children live today in the foster care system, particularly children of color. So members, as policymakers, I encourage you to look at these very carefully and look at the amount of resources that go to create layers of bureaucracy that do not resolve children's problems today. Thank you.
Further discussion? Senator Champion.
Thank you, Madam President, for the opportunity to speak. Madam President, usually I am very supportive of Senator Housley and other proposals that she puts forward. But Madam President, I believe that this particular bill is one that this body should oppose. Many of the reasons articulated by Senator Patricia Torres-Ray, I would echo, and so that I don't have to repeat the things that she is saying, I will also say this. The child protection system is a very complicated one, and one that hasn't always been fair or equitable for families of color. In fact, I know that there's the African American Family Preservation Act, and there was some discussion about that, but that bill was not heard, at least in this body. But it also deals with the whole notion of child protection. Based on where a child is, when I heard Senator Housley talk about aging out, that usually means that a family has gone through child protection and there's been a child protection finding, and then there's been a termination of parental rights. There's some issues around kinship and whether families of color have really been engaged in a real way. There's some real concern even about those kids once they're in foster placement. How do we get them to other foster homes or even with family? And that's a real concern. This bill does not address those things. What really addresses this issue is if we take a real deep dive when we think in terms of the child protection system and make the necessary system changes in order to get better outcomes. Not to mention that we need to also resource the Ombudsperson, that's one of those words that's always difficult to say, in order to make sure that they have the resources that they need. Another office is not taking care of the needs and the resources in order to make sure that those departments are effective. When you also think in terms of African Americans being a large percentage of the kids in foster care, that is true. And there's some systemic issues that doesn't help families, especially African American families or families of color. Native families also have the have ICWA, which is Indian Child Welfare Act, where those kids are put into a specific system where they can be retained in their culture. And I believe that to be important, and I will always continue to advocate for that. Years ago, there was such a process for African American children, and then there was someone who made a motion on this floor in order to get rid of that process. So the process that is being considered now isn't helpful, and it doesn't really get to the underlying issues that we believe that we need to do, which is to keep families together. This does not keep families together. And lastly, when it comes to kids aging out, there are resources, and there is a child protection social worker, and there are other folks who are in place along with the other officers that can support these families, and they need to be better resourced, and I think that would be a better use of our time. So thank you, Madam President, and I would ask that you vote no.
Further discussion and amendments? Seeing none, the Secretary will give House File 3845 its third reading.
House File number 3845, a bill for an act relating to children and families.
Third reading. Further discussion? Senator Hoffman? Okay, I didn't see it. Oh, Senator Hoffman. I thought I did. Okay.
Thank you, Madam President and members. Almost 20% of the 800,000 children in foster care nationwide live with one disability. 20-some% actually live with post-traumatic stress disorder. There's an obligation on the Department of Education to make sure that kids with disabilities have a free, appropriate public education. Yet at the same time, when it comes to transition of youth, they fall off that cliff. This bill gives an advocate at the state level to absolutely say, I care about you within a system that forgot about you. Sorry I got loud, Mr. President, Madam President, but it's really important. This bill is wonderful. It went through 4 hearings in the House, and it passed unequivocally on the House floor. This levels a playing field for people with disabilities. This levels a playing field for kids in foster care so that there is somebody looking out for their best interest, because right now, there isn't anybody looking out for their best interest. So I appreciate this bill. I appreciate the fact it's here. Please vote a solid green on this, and let's say yes to foster care kids in Minnesota.
Thank you, Madam President. I too rise in support of this bill. Members, we've done a tremendous amount of work in the foster care arena. As you remember, last year we were trying, and we passed unanimous off this floor, an adjustment on the placement of foster care. And yes, Senator Champion and Senator Torres-Ray are correct. Disproportionately hits the African American and the Native American children. But we are adjusting that. We have been working very, very hard. This office of the foster care ombudsman or person is a voice for those foster care children. It is the arching principle over a lot of these groups that are trying to serve these children. I don't really understand what the problem is in having one voice for these children and getting it a direction going, and the improvements that we desperately need to make in the child protection arena. It's something I've been very, 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 very passionate about in my term here. Unfortunately, other people are going to have to, not fortunately, are going to have to carry that torch going forward. And I hope we don't forget about the passion that this subject brings up in us, all of us. It is about the children. But remember, this foster care office is the voice for these children that desperately need a voice.
Further discussion, Senator Torres-Ray.
Thank you, Madam President. I do wish and I hope that this office will become the voice for children. I am going to read to you the Ombudsperson's offices that exist today. Those voices are not being heard. So to propose today that we're creating another ombudspersons and that these voices will be heard is something that is not the precedent in the state of Minnesota. We now have the Crime Victims Minnesota Office of Ombudsperson, the Ombudsman for Long-Term Care, Ombudsman for Public Managed Healthcare Programs, Office of Ombudsperson for Families, Office of Ombudsperson for Corrections, Office of the Rights Advocates for Taxpayers, Office of the Ombudsman for Environmental Business, Small Business Environmental Ombudsman, Minnesota Department of Transportation Ombudsman, Office Workers' Compensation Ombudsman. All of those offices exist. I hope I will not be here, but I'm sure I'll be watching from outside, that this office, if you institute it, that you actually do the work of supervising and holding this office accountable. This is not the precedent of the state of Minnesota. We create these offices and pretend that we have an ombudsperson, often underfunded, often without the staff that is necessary, and often without the power that they need to actually implement the recommendations and enforce the recommendations that they submit to us or the executive branch. Thank you, Madam President.
Further discussion, Senator Champion.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I would agree with Senator Torres-Ray that simply adding another office doesn't change a system that is broken. We have to have a paradigm shift, and simply to say we did something is not really as effective as I would hope that it would be. I believe that Senator Housley has really good intentions. I'm not, questioning that at all. What I'm challenging is the proposal that is before us, that simply to say if we have another office, then it's going to do something different. And I recognize the passion of Senator Hoffman, who got up so eloquently and said this is the only voice. It's not the only voice. There are many different voices. Unfortunately, because of the way the system functions, those voices are muted. Those voices are softened. And so, with that being said, I would sincerely hope that Senator Hoffman, as well as the others, would think deeply about what is being proposed here. And simply to build something doesn't mean that people will come or that it will change. Change happens when people make different decisions, and those different decisions lead them to doing something different. To do the same thing you've always done and expect a different result is a form of insanity. And I would hope that we would not be insane enough in order to push this bill forward. Lastly, Senator Rosen is correct. She's done marvelous work in this area, and I sincerely appreciate all the work that she's done. And I will continue to look at you, Madam President, because you represent, in my mind, forward thinking, and we have to be a forward thinking body. Forward thinking means that we do something different. And so I'm just asking this body to do something different because we need a different way of thinking and different actions, and not just enlarging government as the answer. So this enlargement of government is not the answer. What is the answer? Is having a real paradigm shift when we think in terms of child protection. Thank you so very much, Madam President, for the opportunity to speak one more time.
Further discussion, Senator Housley.
Thank you, Madam President. Didn't know there was going to be this much opposition to a really good bill. It is very far from insanity, Senator Champion. This bill went through 4 committees. It passed the House 121 to 4. There was no opposition in any committees. And to Senator Torres-Ray, this bill was brought to us by the foster youth, that many of them are sitting up in the gallery today. They have nobody to speak for them. The Ombudsperson for Families advocates for the parents, but there's nobody to foster to be the voice for foster children. So, and to all of the other Ombudsperson offices, I cannot tell you what we would have done without the Ombudsperson for long-term care during this pandemic. I was on the phone daily with Cheryl Hannon, and she did an amazing job. So when these agencies and these Ombudspersons do good work, it's really, really good work. And these foster kids need somebody, and they need somebody immediately to stop this cycle that we have. So, members, I do ask for a green vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the Secretary will take the roll. You ready?
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Coleman votes aye.
Coleman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Gazelka votes aye.
Gazelka votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Osmic votes aye.
Osmic votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Limmer votes aye.
Limmer votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Matthews votes aye.
Matthews votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Goggin votes aye.
Goggin votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Rosen votes aye.
Rosen votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Tomasoni votes aye.
Tomasoni votes aye. I'll now call on Senator Herr to report the votes of members voting under Rule 40.7. Senator Herr.
Madam President, I'd like to vote, I report aye for Senator Bingham,
Senator Bingham votes aye. Senator Herr.
aye for Senator Eaton,
Eaton votes aye. Senator Herr.
aye for Senator Fateh,
Senator Fateh votes aye. Senator Herr.
aye for Senator Latz,
Senator Latz votes aye. Senator Herr.
aye for Senator Marty,
Senator Marty votes aye. Senator Herr.
aye for Senator Port,
Senator Port votes aye. Senator Herr.
aye for Senator Rest.
Senator Rest votes aye. Senator Herr.
Thank you, Madam President.
All members having voted who desire to vote, there being 60 ayes. Secretary, close the roll. There being 60 ayes and 6 nays, House File 3845 is passed and adopted, and title agreed to. Next bill on our special orders today is Senate File 3258 on General Orders Number 40, Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Madam President. Today, members, we have Senate File 3258, a technical fix to the Board of Medical Practice. I'd like to thank my co-author, Senator Wickland.
Discussion or amendments? Seeing none, the Secretary will give Senate File 3258 its third reading.
Senate File number 3280.
Third reading.
Whoops, wait a minute, excuse me. Where is it? Senate File 3258, a bill for an act relating to health.
Third reading.
Thank you, that's my fault.
Okay. All right, members, third reading. Seeing no discussion, Secretary will take the roll. I'll now call on Senator Herr to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Herr.
Madam President, I report aye for Senator Bigham.
Bigham votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Eaton.
Senator Eaton votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Forte.
Forte votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Latz.
Latz votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Marty.
Marty votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Port.
Port votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Latz.
Latz.
Oh, Rest, sorry, my apology. Aye for Senator Rest.
Rest votes aye.
Thank you, Madam President.
I'll now call on Senator Jasinski to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Coleman votes aye.
Coleman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Gazelka votes aye.
Gazelka votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Osmic votes aye.
Osmic votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Limmer votes aye.
Limmer votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Matthews votes aye.
Matthews votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Goggin votes aye.
Goggin votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Rosen votes aye.
Rosen votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Tomasoni votes aye.
Tomasoni votes aye. Okay. The Secretary will close the roll. There being 64 ayes and 0 nays, Senate File 3258 is passed and its title agreed to. Next bill on special orders today is 2543 on general orders number 32, Senator Dahms.
Thank you, Madam President and members. The Senate File 2543 is a bill that's been brought to me by the local agricultural co-ops, and it is in regards to the self-insurance on their truck fleets. The Department of Commerce rules require that an entity must have positive cash flow in 3 of 5 years in order to maintain a self-insurance authority. But we know farming and grain buying is very seasonal and very cyclical. A cooperative can have millions of dollars worth of grain storage, yet have a negative cash flow during the year. This happened to a co-op in my district. It had $16.4 million of working capital, but fell short of the compliance because it did not have a positive cash flow. This bill does not change the requirements of the rules. It simply provides that the department may not cancel or deny self-insurance authority to a cooperative that might have a negative cash flow but still has 3 times the amount of the working capital that can be used to cover the losses. An example would be a co-op that has $1 million of self-insurance authority. It would have to have at least $3 million in working capital in order to maintain self-insurance authority, regardless of the cash flow status. That's the base of Senate File 2543, and I'll open it up for questions.
Discussion, amendments, Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Madam President. Will Senator Dahms stand for a question?
Senator Dahms will. Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Dahms, just a question. If there is a co-op that has major bankruptcy, let's say, and there would be several creditors in line, where would this stand with in that type of a situation as far as covering insurance claims?
Senator Dahms.
Well, it would be no different than if you were still using the positive cash flow. In fact, it might be stronger because positive cash flow does not say what you have for assets or what you have for capital. So I do not have an answer on that, but I can say this, that it would be, certainly wouldn't be any lesser than the current way of doing it by cash flow.
Senator Clausen.
Thank you, Madam President. And, Senator Dahms, if you'd stand for another question.
Senator Dahms will. Senator Clausen.
Yeah. Certainly, cash assets would be part of the settlement, though. Would you agree?
Senator Dahms.
Cash assets very likely would be part of the settlement. However, that cash asset it calls for positive cash flow. And you could have, and that's why I want to put in the capital portion of it, because cash assets would be part of the capital. And in the most cases where it's actual grain, usually there's no lien against that grain by the local co-op. So that it's converted to cash much quicker than a lot of other things can be.
Senator Clausen.
Yes. Well, Madam President and Senator Dahms, thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the Secretary will give Senate File 2543 its third reading.
Senate File 2543, a bill for an act relating to commerce, regulating motor vehicle self-insurance for cooperatives, etc.
Third reading. Discussion? Seeing none, the Secretary will take the roll. I'll now call on Senator Jasinski to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Coleman votes aye.
Coleman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Gazelka votes aye.
Gazelka votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Osmic votes aye.
Osmic votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Goggin votes aye.
Goggin votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Rosen votes aye.
Rosen votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
And thank you, Madam President. Senator Tomassoni votes aye.
Tomassoni votes aye. I'll now call on Senator Herr to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Herr.
Okay, Madam President, I'd like to report aye for Senator Bigham.
Bigham votes aye. Senator Herr.
I report aye for Senator Eaton.
Eaton votes aye. Senator Herr.
I report aye for Senator Fateh.
Senator Fateh votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Latz.
Latz votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Marty.
Marty votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Port.
Senator Port votes aye. Senator Herr.
And aye for Senator Rest.
Rest votes aye.
Thank you, Madam President.
Here it comes. All members having voted who desire to vote, the secretary will close the roll.
Madam President,
Senator Hur.
I'd like to change Senator Marty's vote to no.
Marty votes nay.
Thank you.
Secretary will close the roll. There being 64 ayes and 2 nays, Senate File 2543 is adopted and its title agreed to. The next bill on our agenda today is Senate File 3287.
Madam President,
Where? Oh, Senator Friends.
thank you, Madam President. I want to make a motion for reconsideration, please.
We have a motion for reconsideration. Well, it seems as though, since this is on a different bill, the one we're on right now is Senator Dahms' bill. So, Senator Friends, which bill is it that you're making a motion?
Madam President, it's House File 3845.
That's Senator Housley. We're currently
Yes.
on Senator Dahms' bill. Just a moment. Okay, so now we're gonna, okay. Okay. Senator Friends, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President, very much for your consideration. Having voted on the previous side, Senator Dibble moves that the vote, Senator Friends moves that the vote for Senator Dibble on House File 3845 passed by the Senate on May 11, 22 be now reconsidered.
Thank you, Senator Friends. Yes, Senator Friends, can you please explain your motion?
Thank you very much, Madam President. And members, Senator Dibble wishes to change his vote. This motion for reconsideration is basically to switch the vote for Senator Dibble on House File 3845, and I would appreciate your consideration. He has spoken with the author of the bill about this.
On that motion, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. Motion to reconsider does pass. Senator Friends, would you please report the vote? Oh, really? Okay. We're going to give the bill, the secretary will give the bill its third reading.
House File 3845, a bill for an act relating to children and families.
Third reading. Senator Frantz.
Thank you again, Madam President. Thank you, members, for the indulgence. Senator Dibble moves to switch his vote from a yes to a no on the bill. Okay. Well, then we're just going to vote again.
The secretary will take the vote.
Thank you.
Everybody has to vote again, members. I'll now call on Senator Jasinski to report the votes under 40.7. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Coleman votes aye.
Coleman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Gazelka votes aye.
I didn't get it.
Lang votes aye.
Lang votes aye. Senator.
Newman votes aye.
Hold on a moment, Senator. Gazelka votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Senator Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Osmic votes aye.
Osmic votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Goggin votes aye.
Goggin votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Rosen votes aye.
Rosen votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Tomasoni votes aye.
Tomasoni votes aye. I'll now call on Senator Herr to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Herr.
Thank you, Madam President, and I report nay for Senator Eaton.
Eaton votes nay. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Fateh.
Fateh votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Marty.
Marty votes aye. Senator Herr.
Aye for Senator Port.
Port votes aye. Senator Herr.
And nay for Senator Rest.
Rest votes no.
Thank you, Madam President.
Secretary will close the roll. There being 57 ayes and 9 nays, House File 3845 is adopted and its title agreed to. Next, we'll go to Senate File 3287, General Orders Number 91, Senator Dahms.
Well, thank you, Madam President and members. Senate File 3287 is a bill relating to commerce modifying the department enforcement powers relative to the market conduct examinations. In this bill, Section 1 limits the fines to $25,000 per year for unintentional and identical insurance company errors. Section 2 limits the Department of Commerce's ability to retroactively enforce violations that occurred more than 6 years prior to the enforcement action. Section 3 provides an examinee an avenue to challenge market conduct exam invoices outside of the Department of Commerce's Enforcement Division. Section 4 deals with the regulation of the Department of Commerce. If there is a multi-state exam through the NEIC, this allows the Department of Commerce not to simultaneously perform a state exam on the same company on the same issue. Section number 5 deals with the Commissioner extending an exam beyond the 18-month limitation basis and what is required of the Commission if they request or do that. Section number 6 attempts to prevent the Commissioner from making new law via the order or other informal resolutions. And Section 7, this requires the Commissioner to annually report to the legislative body regarding the statutes, the status of exams, as well as the related costs that have been incurred. Section 8 deals with the prevention of the Department of Commerce from imposing civil fines on rates and forms that have been approved or deemed approved by the Department of Commerce. Section 9 repeals the ability of the insurance company to waive a scheduling conference and order. Members, that's the content of Senate File 3287, and I'll stand for questions.
Discussion and amendments. Senator Dahms.
I'll go third reading.
Okay. Further discussion? Seeing none, the Secretary will give the bill its third reading.
Senate File 3287, a bill for an act relating to commerce, modifying department enforcement powers.
Third reading. Further discussion? Senator Kent.
Thank you, Madam President. Would Senator Dahms yield?
Senator Dahms will yield.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Dahms, I've had the opportunity to hear this bill in both the Commerce Committee and in the Finance Committee, and I know it has been a work in progress throughout, and I was wondering if you could please let the body know where we stand in terms of the ongoing negotiations between the stakeholders, including the Department of Commerce.
Senator Dahms.
Well, thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Senator Kent. There has been some movement, and I got to look up and see which areas it was in. On section number 3, the Department of Commerce is looking and working on implementing an administrative solution to solve that where the companies want to have the billing disputes, and so they're looking at an administrative solution for that. On some of the other areas, there has not been much change made. It's still in progress, but I chose to move the bill forward because there's a lot of things going on, and I believe that there needs to be some changes made, and I would like to see the department work with us to make those changes. But if they don't want to, I guess that would be their choice.
Senator Kent.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Senator Dahms. You know, one of the things that I have observed and admired about your work is that you understand and appreciate the importance of peace in the Valley. And so it is in that spirit that I am going to have to suggest that we should not pass this with an overwhelming yes vote. Clearly, there is work to be done. I think it is important that we send a signal that we need to get that work done, that everybody needs to come to the table in this regard. Specifically, the market conduct exams, which are an essential tool for the Commerce Department to effectively regulate insurance companies, because of the size and scope of their impact on everyday life of Minnesotans, this really matters, and we need to get this right. And while there are a number of common sense provisions in the bill that would make the process work better, overall, this bill, particularly because of Section 8, severely tips the scales away from consumer protection and in favor of the insurance companies doing what they want when they want. And as Senator Dahms mentioned, there are still several sections of concern, but particularly that Section 8, because as drafted, it would prohibit the Commerce Department from imposing civil penalties or sanctions if violations relating to insurance rates and forms are found as part of the market conduct process. Essentially, if the department doesn't disapprove them initially, they can never take any kind of enforcement action around rates or forms on a bad actor. And colleagues, we have to ask, how does that benefit Minnesota insureds? The cap in this provision currently is at $25,000. We've heard testimony consistently that that is not going to be a deterrent on these larger corporations. And in some states, we've heard testimony that the comparable penalty could be $3 million. Significantly more than the $25,000 that is currently in this bill. I appreciate very much that insurers want certainty from the regulatory process, but don't consumers and policyholders also deserve similar certainty? And so this provision is problematic. It's my understanding that there's no other state that has a similar provision. And let's be clear, no other state has a provision like this one, and Minnesota should not be the first. So members, I would encourage a no vote on this bill at this time, and hopefully it will come back in a much better shape. Thank you.
Further discussion, Senator Dahms. Okay, we'll go to you then, Senator Latz.
Thank you, Madam President and members. Some of you may recall a time when the Ford Pinto was the subject of litigation because they had a gas tank that was located in the back of the car, which was prone to exploding in a rear-end collision. Ford knew this. I'm not saying anything that was out of turn. This all came out in subsequent litigation. Ford knew this and made a calculated decision that it was less expensive to keep manufacturing their defective product with the gas tank in the back and to pay the damages or penalties to the families who were victims of exploding gas tanks rather than pay more to redesign the car and build it safely. And it sounds to me like what we have before us here today on the floor is an analogous situation where the insurance companies are going to find it a lot less expensive to incur the penalties that would come from breaking the law and continue to sell the products that are going to make them more money because the penalties will be so low. For me, that alone is a deal breaker here. A penalty that amounts to essentially nothing on the bottom line of a scofflaw is no penalty at all and has no effect. And the consumers will be the losers here. I would encourage a no vote on this bill.
Further discussion? Senator Dahms.
Well, thank you, Madam President and members. I would just like to make a few comments. First, I'd like to go to Section 1 when we're talking about the low amount that they're saying is low for the fines. The cap is $25,000 per year, but that's for unintentional claims and identical insurance company claims, identical errors. So let's say that the computer system, let's say you need to do a report and you need to do it 30 days or 45 days prior to the change. And your system somehow got plugged in for 30 days. So it kicks out some of these change notices to some of the insureds. It kicks them out with a 30-day notice when it should have been 45. Now that is not something the insurance company did that is intentional. That's something, and they've corrected it. So I don't feel that it's fair to say that the fine is for something that's been done that's unintentional. And this would be an unintentional, limited to $25,000. Otherwise, the Department of Commerce can say, well, it's $50,000, but it went on to 300 customers, so we're going to charge $50,000 for its 300 customers. The next one I want to go to is back in Section 8. There was Senator Kent made some comments on Section 8, and I respect those comments, and I certainly respect Senator Kent's involvement in this on the committee. But in Section 8, the reason this is coming about is because according to statute, the Department of Commerce has 60 days to review and approve the rates. If they don't, they can file for another 60-day extension. After 120 days, if they have not ruled, the rates automatically become acceptable and usable by the insurance companies because they followed the statutes. So now what's happening is the Department of Commerce is coming back and reevaluating these rates down the road a couple years and fining them because they felt the rates were out of line or this or that. The Department of Commerce has the obligation to approve these rates, and it's in statute the time frame they must follow. Now, if they don't follow the time frame, like I said, they become automatically approved. And if they're automatically approved, why should the Department of Commerce be able to go back and find them? And trust me, this is happening. So I just wanted to point those things out, and I understand, people are going to have a difference of opinion, and I certainly understand that, but just wanted to point that out. Thank you, Madam President.
Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the Secretary will give Senate File 3287 its third reading. We did. Okay, we'll take the roll. It's good. I'll now call on Senator Jasinski to report the votes under Rule 40.7.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Coleman votes aye.
Coleman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Gazelka votes aye.
Gazelka votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Goggin votes aye.
Goggin votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Rosen votes aye.
Rosen votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Eichhorn votes aye.
Eichhorn votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Rude votes aye.
Rude votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Tomasoni votes aye.
Tomasoni votes aye. I'll now call on Senator Hurd to report the votes under Rule 40.7. Senator Hurd.
Thank you, Madam President. I report nay for Senator Eaton.
Eaton votes no.
Nay for Senator Fateh.
Fateh votes no. Senator Hurd.
Nay for Senator Marty.
Marty votes no. Senator Hurd.
Nay for Senator Port.
Port votes no. Senator Hurd.
And nay for Senator Rest.
Rest votes no. Senator Hurd.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Madam President. Senator Osmic votes aye.
Osmic votes aye. That's it. Secretary will close the roll. There being 37 ayes and 29 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to. Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I am going to move for a recess to the call of the President. Republicans are going to caucus in room 1200 across the street. Members, approximately 1 hour, will come back. Keep an eye on your emails, but please don't leave the chamber. Right after we recess, I have another announcement that I would like to make, so please stay in your seats. But for this moment, I move that we recess to the call of the President.
On that motion, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion prevails. We are in recess. Senator Miller.
Thank you, Madam President and members. I don't think I'm the only one who shares this feeling that today is one of my most favorite days here at the Capitol, and that's because it's Senator Kiffmeyer's Bread Day. And one of the things I enjoy most about Bread Day, Senator Kiffmeyer members, is it's never been a partisan event. She invites Democrats, Republicans, independents, and staff. Everyone is welcome to participate in Senator Kiffmeyer's Bread Day. And since she is retiring at the end of this year, today might be the last Bread Day. And it marks the end of a long celebrated tradition. Now, Senator Kiffmeyer, if you want to bring bread after you retire, I don't think anyone in here would object to that. But just in case you don't, there are a few things that I'd like to share with the body. Senator Kiffmeyer has been making bread and jam and bringing it to share with everyone for longer than many members have been members of this chamber. She can correct me if this is wrong, but I believe she began bringing it when she was a member of the House, and since becoming a member of the Senate, she has brought it every year since. And I'm not sure how many of you know this, but her approach to bread making is a lot like her approach to legislating. She always goes the extra mile and doesn't cut any corners. In fact, she and Ralph even order their own wheat and they grind it to make the flour. They grind their own wheat. Everything she brings is entirely homemade and absolutely delicious. So, Senator Kiffmeyer, today we have a gift for you, and I thought it would be a nice way to commemorate the end of one of our favorite traditions and also serve as a token of our appreciation for all the bread and jam you have served to all of us over the years. For those of you who are having a hard time seen what I'm going to present Senator Kiffmeyer. It's a bread knife, and it's engraved with Senator Mary Kiffmeyer Bread Day. And as you might know, it's actually bad luck to give a knife as a gift, because a knife is a blade, of course. As the superstition goes, it represents severing ties between the gift giver and the gift receiver, which obviously is not something that we want to happen. So whenever you give someone a knife, it's courtesy and customary to give them a small coin. So this knife also has a small coin on it. It has a penny with the year 2013, and that was the year that Senator Kiffmeyer was sworn into the Senate. I hope that's correct. Is that correct, Senator Kiffmeyer? Okay. All right. So in order to prevent that severing of the ties, the person receiving the gifted knife immediately gives the coin back to the person they received the knife from, so they have symbolically purchased the knife. Sounds like you're getting a really good deal on the knife, Senator Kiffmeyer. And it ensures the bond remains strong and united. So in addition to the knife, we're gifting Senator Kiffmeyer the penny that she will give back. So Senator Kiffmeyer, what we really want to say is thank you. I know you will say it's a labor of love, and it must be for you to go through the lengths that you do, but we absolutely appreciate it. We have very much enjoyed breaking bread with you all of these years, and we will sincerely miss you. So Senator Kiffmeyer, I'm going to come up there and I'm going to give you the knife, and then looking forward to getting the penny back as well.
All right.
Other way.
This way? Okay.
No, other way. Like this.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Miller. Indeed, this is treasured for me, but I do have to tell you also, I couldn't do this without Ralph. You know, he raises the raspberries. The jam would be nothing without Ralph's raspberries. And I tell him, just pick the good ones, honey. And that's for everybody that we serve, we do that. And wow, what a wonderful knife. I want to thank you so much. It has been my joy, my pleasure to be able to do this for you. And exactly what Senator Miller said, it is something for me that means all of us together doing this work, and my respect and appreciation. So while I'm making the bread, I'm praying blessings upon you all. So thank you very much.